the show before. He's talked about 9/11, you name it. Now, I'm going to be honest, though, Dick, as for George Clooney, I want to believe that he means well, but the State Department people who are using him to push for a war in Sudan and other areas, I don't see that, just to preface this here so you know where I'm coming from, I don't see that as the West wanting to go in there to actually stop some of the brutal leaders who are abusing and killing Christians. I've been talking about that for a decade.
Sure.
I see it as a pretext, just like Iraq. We just saw Libya. That was a total pretext, you know, to go in there and take over. And now there's ethnic cleansing of the black Libyans by some of the Arabs. I mean, it's definitely worse than it was. I'm not saying Gaddafi was perfect, but he was building up all of Africa. And so when I see the State Department that supported that behind Darfur and you know, Sudan and all of this, I just find it suspicious. Now, you're there getting arrested, and I respect that. So tell us out of the gates why, you know, you're supporting what's going on there.
I'm supporting what's going on there. Let me just back up for a minute. One of the most brutal lynchings in modern times, mainly because of the fastness of the news and television, was when James Byrd was lynched and dismangled by 3 white men in Texas. And because of the fastness and the conscience of people, they arrested the 3 whites that did it before they identified who the black man was. One of them was sentenced to a long sentence. The other 2 were sentenced to death. I'm against the death penalty. I was there with a group of people when they killed the first one about 4 months ago in Huntsville, Texas. I stood outside of there with a prayer vigil and said, you know, killing by the state is wrong. You give me life in jail, and that's punishment. When you give me death, that's revenge. And so I don't draw the line or worry. Truth don't never have to be validated by ignorance. And the people who contacted me and didn't understand, I don't do things according to your understand. Killing is wrong by the state. Now, I say that to preference why I went to jail the other day. The rainy season is coming, and there'll be like 300,000 to 600,000 people that will starve to death. That's what I was there for, and I would be there for anybody. Starvation. I was with Bobby Sands. I went there when Bobby Sands was starving himself to death in the jail. I go wherever there seem to be injustices with women and children and talking about eating. I'm not into their politics. A whole lot of people can be into politics and still feed people. I mean, here in America, they talking about 30 million meals a day in schools, and we got politicians here that say, wait a minute, ketchup is a vegetable, pizza is good nutrition, and French fries. My act was, if you go to visit your mother and father and your friends on Thanksgiving and they give you ketchup, pizza, and French fries, you know how they feel about you. And the fact that we would do that to children, I believe Hitler would do it to Jews, but I don't believe Hitler would have put that crap in the schools for Germans. So when you look around at a filthy system, that stuff has been going on over and over and over and over again, I never thought I would see the day that I could say I'd rather be killed by someone than kill someone. That's what the Civil Rights Movement did to me. That's where it changed me. John Wayne was my hero, man. I'm 80 years old. We didn't have no television when I was a little boy. And John Wayne said, if you're right and they're wrong, kill them. And then Dr. King came around and said, no, killing is not right. It's about love. And then I look at the outcome. It is about love. Not love, but can you be lovable? And so if someone had captured brutal people and said they was going to starve them to death, I'd be on the front line and said, no. There's other ways of dealing out justice, and starving people to death is not one of them. That's why I was there, and that's why I was in jail.
Well, let me just be clear. I only brought this up out of the gates because I had noticed that you'd been on the list of arrested people, and I know that you always get behind causes that you believe are good and just, and so I respect you. And I had just been talking last week about Angelina Jolie, who went to the border of Libya there in Tunisia last October and called over and over again for invasion and bombing. And I know that was about destabilizing Africa. So I got very, very angry with her. The UN's constantly caught doing evil things. I understand they talk about a bunch of good stuff they want to do, and then good people like yourself and others give them money, give them time, give them energy. And I saw George Clooney go up there and talk about how, you know, folks are flying over there in Sudan and then dropping bombs on the Christians. And I don't like that. But then I think, okay, George, well, what about our government with drones in 14 countries dropping bombs and saying it's okay to kill 200 people at a wedding as long as you kill one guy you claim was bad? My whole point is, when I see Fox News with George Clooney on, and Fox News is saying, yeah, this is good, let's go in there, I'm like, wait a minute. All I know is this war machine that's run by these big foreign banks, they'll use people's concern about something wrong that's going on, but then actually double-cross everybody. I mean, take Joseph Kony, hadn't been seen in all these years.
Sure.
And now we're hearing, oh, we got to go into there. What about the leader of that country that's been connected? All I'm saying is I've learned that when they tell me we got to attack this country because of WMDs, or we got to go into Sudan because the Muslims are killing the Christians, I know they are. I don't like it. But at the same time, I don't see our government wanting to go in there to actually help people. It's always to get the natural resources. I mean, do you see what I'm saying?
But let me tell you something. You know things that most folks don't know. There's a whole lot of people that get involved, emotional and humanitarian, that don't know the black. I've been knowing Gaddafi been CIA since he was 15 years old. My grandmother don't know that. Huh? I'm one of the people believe, if I'm stupid enough to believe Gaddafi is dead, please, then my mother was Jesus, okay? But this is what you learn from research. This is what you learn from putting, you make the show look easy. But let me tell you something. I bump into people that swear by you because they know when I take it from here, I don't have to worry about the New York Times and the Washington Post. But you worked hard to do that. You worked hard to check and recheck. There's a whole lot of people that don't know. My mother, if she was alive today, she didn't know was the King James Version of the Bible. She died for that. She didn't know King James was King of England. She didn't know King James was such a weird, strange homosexual. He hated women so bad he killed his mother. And his lover was Lord Buckingham, who Buckingham Palace is named after. She didn't know that. If my mother walked in your studio today, you think God spit her out. That's how precious and kind and sweet. But if you tried to convince my mother that Jesus Christ wasn't a Christian, she'd stomp you to death. But she didn't know Christianity never happened till 100 years after Jesus was dead. So you have a whole lot of people out here that don't have proper information, including my mother if she was alive. And so somewhere when you sit and look at those of us that have the information, in a few weeks we'll be celebrating the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King on April 4th. Now, you know this, but there's a whole lot of people that's not aware when you see that famous picture, King's laying on the ground, and all of these people's pointing up. Now, come on now. If a shot is fired and I'm on a balcony, we all going to hit the ground. Now, nobody's going to get... How'd they know it wasn't going to be a second shot? And here's Dr. King laying on the ground, and nobody was saying, are you all right? So we see this, and we've been out there dealing with it for years. I'm the one that released the picture with Ron Brown, the Secretary of Commerce, with the bullet in the back of his head, and they couldn't deny it because...
The coroner.
They the ones brought the picture to me, so they couldn't deny it. But you think the New York Times, the Washington Post would run it? Not until I went to jail. Not till I went to jail on Christmas Eve did that story run.
Wow, we should talk about that. Absolutely, I just raised the whole point. So you think George Clooney really means well then? With the
wait. I'm not getting into that. That's like somebody asking me, somebody says, you think Dick Gregory mean well when he's standing there with this white Klansman that's fixing to get the lecture here? I'm not getting into that.
No, the only reason I ask you is I was getting ready to do a whole video on George Clooney, and I'm really trying to find out whether I should go after him or not. Not for even getting arrested there, but for pushing for military intervention. I do think we should help the people of southern Sudan. It's just that I just don't see... It's like the death penalty. We're going to break, but I want to come back and talk about this with you and get into Ron Brown, get into MLK, RFK, JFK, whatever you want to get into, because you're so well informed on it. All I'm trying to say is that it's like the death penalty. I believe somebody that murders a child, some serial killer, I want him to die. But I can't trust this corrupt government to carry out the execution, because that's an even greater danger. Dick Gregory's our guest. We'll be right back with him on the other side of this quick break. I'd seen the longevity products work for many others, and so I bought a bunch of them, started using them, had a little bit of results, but I wasn't following the regimen every day. But Aaron Dykes in my office did, and lost more than 60 pounds. When I saw those results, I said, I better follow my own advice. I started taking the longevity products, and it's been incredible. 37 pounds in 2 months. Our bodies are amazing, and God gave us an incredible gift. But if our body doesn't have the tools it needs, all of the vitamins, all of the minerals, and the other key essential trace elements, we're not going to be healthy. Folks, this isn't hype. I only bring to my listeners products that I've tried myself that I truly believe in. And the amazing supplements available at InfoWarsTeam.com have certainly delivered in my life. I hope you'll give them a try. Go to InfoWarsTeam.com today and order your first canister of Beyond Tangy Tangerine Complete Multivitamin Mineral Complex Dietary Supplement. That's InfoWarsTeam.com.
Hi, Jason Lewis here. Anybody who's been listening to my program knows how shaky the U.S. economy is right now. Will we have a V-shaped recovery, or will it be a W-shaped one where the nation slips back into recession? Of course, if you think that Washington can spend or inflate its way out of a downturn, you've got nothing to worry about. But as you know, I have my doubts. So let me tell you about gold. Now, as my friend Ted Anderson from Midas Resources likes to say, gold, like all commodity markets, fluctuates in price, and you could lose money, but it has never been worth zero. Give it some thought, and if you're interested in converting your IRA to gold, or would like to actually have it in your possession, call Midas Resources today at 1-800-686-2237. The U.S. dollar was once backed by gold, but has since lost 90% of its value. And if things don't change, I'm afraid the trend will continue. Call Midas Resources today at 1-800-686-2237 for gold and tell them Jason Lewis sent you.
Are you still a traditional smoker? Now experience a new lifestyle and try vaping with e-cigarettes by LeSig. Imagine no ashes, stains, nasty smell, or coughing and hacking. With LeSig e-cigarettes' revolutionary microelectronic technology, rechargeable battery, and unique replaceable cartridge, you'll get all the benefits and satisfaction of smoking without the hazards. Choose your taste from a wide variety of our new American-made vape-free e-liquids at LeSig.com. And LeSig smokes the competition by serving thousands of worldwide customers with real people customer service, fast, free, same-day shipping, and a 30-day warranty and satisfaction guarantee. So are you ready for a new vaping lifestyle? Then call 870-518-4307. That's 870-518-4307. Or visit LeSig.com, spelled LECIG.com. LeSig e-cigarettes for today's modern smoker.
What is the most abundant resource on Earth? Water. It's essential for sustaining life, but it's not always the most available. When disaster strikes, water quickly vanishes from store shelves, like it did during 9/11, Katrina, Japan, and in Joplin. 3 days without water and your body begins to shut down. Don't risk being without an abundant supply of water when the next disaster hits. Get a FlowJack hand well pump. The affordable FlowJack drops right into almost any well and is easy to install without having to remove the existing pump, giving you immediate access to plenty of cool, clean water. You could risk your family's health on a limited supply of stored water, or you could be prepared with the reliable, affordable FlowJack backup hand pump kit, delivered to your door for only $3.99 complete. See how it works at FlowJack.com, spelled FLOJAK.com. Be sure to spell FLOJAK